Sewing buttons is one of the foundational skills for new sewers. Learn how to sew on a button with these DIY hand sewing tips. How to sew a button in 8 steps. Follow these tips to help you with your mending so you can attach a replacement button back on a coat or add new buttons to your garment. 1. Gather your basic sewing tools. Button sewing requires a few tools. You'll need a needle, thread, and a pair of small scissors. These sewing supplies are standard in sewing kits. 2. Thread your needle. Work your thread through the eye of the needle. Instead of leaving a tail and tying a knot at the end of the single thread, feed the thread all the way through the needle so that the 2 ends of the thread are equal in length, creating a double thread. Pull a few inches of thread and wrap the ends of the thread tails around your index finger a few times, and gently roll off with your thumb to create a knot, tying the 2 ends of the thread together. 3. Choose a spot for your button. Locate where you want to place your button, making sure it is on the right side of the fabric. After selecting a spot for your button, thread a small X to guide your needle. Starting on the back side of the fabric, feed the threaded needle up through the fabric and sew a small X as a placeholder for where the button will go. The ends of the X should be approximately where the buttonholes will be. Place your button. Line your button up on top of the small X, placing your button on the fabric. Starting at the underside of the garment, guide your sewing needle through the first hole of the button. After pulling the needle and thread through the fabric and buttonhole, angle your needle downward and pull it through the second hole. Your needle and thread should come out of the underside of the garment. 5. Add a straight pin. Before sewing any more stitches, place a straight pin or toothpick between the button and the fabric, beneath the button and first stitch. The pin will prevent you from sewing the button onto the garment too tightly. 6. Continue sewing the button. Guide your needle through the button and garment 6 more times or until the button is secure. Small buttons require less stitching than large buttons, so if your button is heavy, consider adding a few extra stitches to secure the button in place. On the last upward stitch, guide the needle through the fabric only, not through the buttonhole. 7. Remove the straight pin. Pull the straight pin out from the bottom of button and wrap the thread around the underside of the button 5 or 6 times to form the shank. 8. Secure and cut off the excess thread. To tie off the thread, feed the needle through the stitches on the back of the fabric and then tie a knot by guiding the needle through the loop. Do this 2 or 3 times before cutting the thread.